Welcome to my channel, where we dive deep into the finest machines ever built, the masterpieces of engineering, design, and pure emotion, and today, we're exploring a car that doesn't just define luxury and performance, it elevates both into an art form. A car that isn't merely driven, but experienced. A car that doesn't just sit in a garage, but lives in the imagination of anyone who has ever dreamed of the perfect fusion between elegance and power. Today, we're talking about the Aston Martin Vanquish, a masterpiece of performance and luxury. And trust me, if you think you know what a Grand Tourer is, if you think luxury performance cars are all the same, the Vanquish is here to change your mind. You know, every once in a while, a car appears that doesn't just fit into the world, it reshapes it. It sets a new tone. It forces rivals to rethink their strategies and challenges drivers to expand their expectations. The Vanquish is one of those cars. From the moment you see it, even before you hear it, something in you understands that this is not a machine born from compromise. This is a statement of excellence. And the deeper you go into what makes this car so remarkable, the more you realize that Aston Martin didn't just build a vehicle, they built an emotion. A feeling, a presence. And I want you to imagine something. Imagine standing in front of the Vanquish for the very first time. The sun hits that sculpted body, those flowing lines that feel like they were drawn by an artist whose hands understood motion better than stillness. At certain angles, it looks powerful, wide, muscular, confident. At others, it looks elegant, smooth, serene, almost graceful. That combination, that dual identity, is exactly why the Vanquish is so unforgettable. Few cars manage to look aggressive without looking angry. Few cars look luxurious without looking fragile. But the Vanquish stands in that perfect sweet spot. It's not too loud. It's not trying too hard. It commands respect not through force, but through presence. That's real luxury. And yet, even with all that aesthetic brilliance, the true magic of the Vanquish doesn't reveal itself until you get behind the wheel. The moment you slide into the cabin, you're greeted with a world that feels meticulously handcrafted. Not mass-produced. Not automated, not generic. Hand-stitched leather, real metal, fine textures, thoughtful shapes, the interior isn't just designed, it's sculpted. And the best part, you don't feel overwhelmed by screens or distracted by unnecessary tech. You feel connected, grounded, centered. You feel like the designers wanted you to focus on the actual experience of driving, not just on digital displays or flashy features. And honestly, that's rare these days. So many modern luxury cars feel like mobile smartphones on wheels. The Vanquish feels like what a luxury car should be: tactile, intentional, intimate. And then, you start the engine. Let me tell you something. There are sounds in this world you never forget. A symphony in a concert hall. A waterfall echoing in a canyon. And the roar of a naturally aspirated V12 awakening beneath the hood of a Vanquish. It's not just a noise, it's a moment. A moment that tells you you're not sitting inside an ordinary car. You're sitting inside something alive. Something powerful. Something that pulses with mechanical soul. The sound is deep and rich at idle, like an animal clearing its throat before a sprint. But when you rev it, when you let that throttle breathe, the sound blossoms into this breathtaking crescendo, smooth, fierce, emotional. It's the kind of sound that gives you goosebumps before you even put the car into gear. And once you're on the road, that's when the magic truly begins. The Vanquish moves in a way that's almost poetic. The steering is responsive without being twitchy. The chassis feels solid but not stiff. The ride is firm enough to remind you you're in something special, but comfortable enough to take on a long highway journey across the US without a single complaint. This is not the kind of car that punishes you for wanting to drive it. It rewards you. It invites you. It encourages you to explore its capabilities with confidence. And the power delivery is something special. That V12 doesn't punch you violently like some turbocharged engines do. It builds. It swells. It rises like a wave, smooth, predictable, exhilarating. You feel the acceleration in your chest, in your spine, in your fingertips gripping the wheel. It's that rare combination of brute strength and refined control that only a few cars in the world ever truly master. And the Vanquish, it masters it effortlessly. But beyond the numbers, beyond the horsepower and torque and speed, there's something else that sets the Vanquish apart. Character, personality, presence. A lot of modern supercars and grand tourers feel over-engineered, almost clinical. They're insanely fast, insanely capable, insanely expensive, but they don't always feel alive. They don't always feel like they're communicating with you. The Vanquish does. It gives you feedback. It responds to you. It invites you to be part of the experience instead of just a passenger inside your own car. And that's what separates luxury from simply being expensive. Luxury is emotional. Luxury is meaningful. Luxury is something that leaves an imprint not just on your memory, but on your identity. And the Vanquish is one of those rare cars that makes you feel like you're stepping into another version of yourself when you drive it. A more confident, more refined, more sophisticated version. The car doesn't define you, but it enhances you. It amplifies you. And speaking of enhancement, let's talk about how the Vanquish fits into the American driving landscape, because here in the US, roads have their own personality. Long, open highways stretching across states. Twisty mountain roads cutting through national parks. Coastal drives where the scenery competes with the car for your attention. And the Vanquish feels made for all of it. In fact, if there's one country where the Vanquish truly gets to show off its grand touring nature, it's the United States. Picture this. You're cruising through the desert highways of Arizona. The sky is endless, the road is wide and smooth, and the Vanquish sits beneath you like a perfectly balanced beast. You press the accelerator lightly, and the V12 hums with this deep, satisfying tone. You press a little harder, and suddenly you're gliding, flying, floating across the asphalt with effortless elegance. Not fighting the road, not dominating it, dancing with it. And that's what grand touring is all about. Not the brutality of track driving. Not the stiffness of hardcore performance settings. But the harmony between comfort and capability. Freedom, precision, joy. Or imagine taking the Vanquish to Malibu, where the Pacific Coast Highway twists and turns alongside the ocean. You're carving through each corner, feeling the car grip the pavement with confidence and composure. The ocean breeze whips past the windows, the sun reflects off the hood, and for that brief moment, life feels cinematic, like something straight out of a movie. And honestly, that's what the Vanquish does. It makes everyday moments feel special. It turns simple drives into memories. But the beauty of the Vanquish isn't just about how it drives. It's also about how it makes people feel. Because when you own one of these, you quickly realize something interesting. It doesn't matter where you go, the Vanquish draws attention, but in the classiest way possible. It's not like owning a supercar that screams for attention everywhere it appears. The Vanquish doesn't shout, it whispers, and people still turn their heads. They still take a second look. They still appreciate the artistry. And in a world full of loud, flashy, aggressive cars fighting for recognition, the Vanquish stands in a league of its own. Not because it's the brightest or boldest, but because it's simply beautiful. Timelessly beautiful. The kind of beauty that ages like a fine wine, not like a fleeting trend. The kind of beauty that tells you the designers weren't thinking about what was popular, but what was right. And that's why even years after its debut, even in a parking lot full of modern exotics, the Vanquish still holds its own effortlessly. Now, we have to talk about the craftsmanship, because if there's one thing Aston Martin is known for, it's the level of detail they pour into their interiors. The Vanquish cabin feels like a luxurious hideaway, a sanctuary where the outside world fades away. The seats cradle you with this perfect blend of support and softness. The controls feel like they were designed to last a lifetime. The craftsmanship isn't just visible, it's tangible. You feel it every time you touch the steering wheel, every time you grip the paddles, every time you adjust a setting. And the best part, nothing feels fake. No cheap plastics pretending to be metal. No mass-produced gimmicks. Just honest luxury. Genuine craftsmanship. And in a world that's becoming increasingly digital, where even luxury cars rely more on screens than on materials, the Vanquish reminds you of what true artistry feels like. But don't get me wrong, this car isn't trapped in the past. It blends classic craftsmanship with modern performance seamlessly. The carbon fiber body panels, The advanced chassis engineering.